Years ago, Radio Flyer, the famous wagon company, had the foresight to build this, the Earth Wagon. It's a replica of their Town and Country, a very popular red wagon with the tall wooden sides. Only this is made from recycled plastic lumber. Boards in the bed are maintenance-free. They never splinter or need paint, and it's a great way to pass the wagon down to the next generation. Although thousands have been sold, there are very few remaining, so congratulations on owning a piece of Americana.
Hi, I'm Richard. In this video, I'm going to show you how to assemble the Radio Flyer Earth Wagon. As you can see here on the table, we have the shipping box, and shortly I'm going to unpack that box and show you all of the parts. So here we have the box opened. This is what it looks like. I've got Leslie here to help me, and we're going to unpack all of the items. First of all, we have the 4 10-inch wheels. They have solid rubber tires. Remove the packaging material. Inside you'll find a Radio Flyer instructions. Comes with a parts list and also a detailed exploded version. In addition, we hopefully received our email with the PDF where we have some little bit easier to read assembly instructions. Essentially the same information, but just in a slightly more readable format. Okay, so now we'll continue with the unpacking. This would be one of the sides. The sides are interchangeable, so it doesn't matter left or right. These are the rear axle supports. 2 of those, more packaging. This is the steering assembly. This is called the turntable. And this is the rear axle assembly. Here we have the front panel. This is distinguished by the notch in it, which helps the handle to fold down. And this is the rear panel. We have 2 packages of hardware. I'll open these and explain each in a minute. This is the handle. And the final bit of packaging material. Okay, so this is called the body or the bed of the wagon. Notice it has holes pre-drilled. The 2 holes here are in the rear of the wagon. That's where the rear axle will assemble. And the 4 holes in the front here are for the turntable and the steering assembly. So, let's see, hand you that. Okay. Here we have on the table the tools, the basic tools necessary: hammer, pliers, adjustable wrench, and flathead screwdriver. Over here I've got some optional extra tools. If you have them, great. If not, you can do without. Needle nose pliers help to bend a cotter pin. Scissors cut open the plastic, and a Phillips head screwdriver, which helps on some of the screws. In addition, if you happen to have an electric battery, or rather battery-operated screwdriver, that'll help speed up one part of the operation. Okay. Hardware. This is the safety ball. These are the 2 cut washers. If you notice, there's printed on them out on each one, and I'll explain that when we get to the assembly. This little plastic cap is part of the handle assembly. These 4 caps are the axle. These attach the wheel to the axle. And interesting enough, one of the nuts has gotten stuck inside. Ah, there they are. Good. So we have a 2-inch by 1/4-inch long flathead screw. That is used for the steering assembly with one of the with one of the lock nuts. We have 6. That's 3, 6, and I believe they might have sent us an extra one. 7 plus the lock nuts. And we have our slightly larger bolt. This is for the steering assembly with its nut, which has slots in it, a little hard to see, and the cotter pin, which holds all of those together. Okay, and then lastly, we have the brackets. We'll leave them in the bag for now. These are the brackets which hold the sides onto the wagon. And they have the screws in here as well. Right, Leslie, if you could hand me the steering assembly and the turntable. Turntable, steering assembly. Great, thank you. Okay, so if you're following along, step 1. Okay, so now we're going to begin the assembly. And we start with the turntable, and for that we need the carriage bolt and the cut washer. Cut washer is marked out, so the out must be on the same side as the head of the bolt. Secondly, you need to place the bolt and cut washer inside, making sure that the cut washer lines up with the slots that are inside. You'll rotate it until it clicks, you'll feel it goes right in. That will give about a 1/2 inch sticking out. Then we get the second component, the steering assembly, with its cut washer. Same thing, it needs to be aligned. And as you heard it clank together there, and we have the bolt sticking up with plenty of room for the nut. There it goes. A little bit tricky to get it started. Now, you want it to be snug, but not so much so that it restricts the turning operation. Also, you need to make sure that the holes line up. And we want to put the cotter pin in. Takes a little bit of pushing. That's where I find the needle nose pliers are very useful. You can take the legs of the cotter pin and just bend them around. There we go. Steering assembly is assembled. Now they also recommend that put a couple of drops of oil on the assembly. So we're just going to squirt a little bit in there. And let that work itself in. Okay, and then you want to be sure to align. As you can see here, it stops on one side, stops on the other. So just be sure to align it ready for installation onto the bed of the wagon. Okay, now that we have the steering assembly assembled, we're going to attach it to the bed of the wagon. Leslie, if we could have the bed of the wagon. And probably be easiest if you place it face down like this. Make sure that you've got the steering aligned with the front of the wagon. Use these 1/4 inch by inch bolts with their hexagon lock nut. just get it started. I'll get it. Thank you, Leslie. Okay, there we go. Then we need to tighten them up. To do that, we need the screwdriver and the adjustable wrench. Almost. Okay, there we have the turntable and steering assembly mounted. Next, we need to do the rear axle. The rear axle first, please. Thank you. That's the mounts very similarly to the other one. Whoops. Yeah, just right there. Thank you. Let's see. There we are, nice and snug. Okay, now we are ready for the rear axle braces. Be sure to slide them on over the axle first. I guess we'll do one first. Same thing, up through the bottom. Other axle brace. This one's a little bit trickier. Let's see, I think it might be easier to do it this way. And perhaps I can use the pliers to grip the nut. Yes, I think that'll be the easier way to do that. Actually, just trying to find the best way to be able to get this tightened up. This one's a little bit tricky. Can you hold on to that? Okay, you hold the nut and I'll screw it down. There we go. Good. Well, that was a little bit of a struggle, but not too bad. Okay, we're ready to put the wheels on. And it doesn't say so, but it doesn't hurt to put just a little drop of oil on the axles before you put the wheels on. You just slide right onto the axles. One. I'll do these two first. We'll do the second two in a minute. Okay, you want to make sure they're snug. These are the axle nuts, if you will. They just tap on. And that's where we use the hammer. Want to make sure they're firm, but also not too tight, so to make sure the wheels still spin. Looks good. Do the other wheel. That's good. And one more. Thank you. Okay. All right, that's the wheels on. Next, we'll move on to assembling the handle. Okay, if I could have the handle, please. Handle slides, safety ball slides right onto the handle, and make sure the holes line up. Notice the handle has a bend on it, so you don't want to install it that way. That would be backwards. This way with the bend toward the wagon. For that we need the long bolt and its safety nut. Now this one we don't want to over tighten. There, I'd like to tighten it just snug so that the handle will stay pretty much where you put it. It could go a little bit tighter. Yep, that's fine. Next, we're going to have the side panels. For that, we need the side panel brackets. Okay. Each one has 2 screws. Let's just unpack. Yeah, let's just empty them out on the table. That's fine. Okay, each bracket has 2 wood screws, and on each side of the wagon, you'll see the pre-drilled holes. Basically, there are 3 per side, and 2 on the front, 2 on the back. And these are the brackets. Okay, now here, these are slotted screws that you can also use a Phillips head screwdriver. Thank you, Leslie. And I like to get them started using the Phillips head. You can use a slotted head, but as you can tell with the slotted head, it's a little more awkward. So basically, I'll start on this side, and then we'll flip it around so you can see what I'm doing. Basically, just get the screws started. So as you can see, I'm just getting the screws started, and then I'm going to use my battery screwdriver to speed things up a little bit. You could certainly do this by hand, but if you have a battery screwdriver, it'll save a little time. Okay, we'll turn it around so you can see the brackets assembled. We'll do the other side. completed. Now we just have the two end ones to do. Obviously, it's really nice if you have somebody to help you, but it can be done by yourself. Okay, brackets are installed, and now we have the last part, and that is the sides. Leslie, would you like to hand me the sides, please? This would be the back, one side, front. Remember, the front has the curve on it, and other side. And there we have it. Your earth wagon is ready to roll.
We hope you found these assembly instructions helpful. Wanted to go over so many of the great uses for the earth wagon. It's great for family outings, of course, and picnics, shopping trips, especially great when the kids get tired. It's also great for gardening. You can use it as a yard cart. What's super is that the sides are removable, so it's great for wide loads. And we hope you enjoy years of use and that you can hand it down to your next generation. Thanks again for watching. Please feel free to contact us for any reason at all. Our email is at the bottom of the screen, or call us on the phone. Thank you.